Hey crafty friends, welcome back to the Old Paper Lady. I'm Lori. If you're new here, hi and welcome, and thank you for joining us. So I've sat here this evening and pulled out some scrapbook paper that I knew I had that had like quilting pieces in it and some little tags and stuff and just different quilting things, because I found this beautiful fabric here at the fabric shop in my city, and I said I'm going to make me a Christmas journal out of that, and I just think it's so pretty. So all of these things here are going to be like my tags. If you can see, it's got just a little bit of bling on it, with the glitter and such, and it's through, some of the pages. This here's got a little bit of red glitter here and there in other place, but it's throughout the pages, and all of this has quilting that I thought would go with it, with the reindeer. I want to make him a journal card and make these up here a journal card. But anyhow, I picked through that, and then I come up with some little side tucks to go on a page that I thought would match it. Then we got our belly band, and then this is going to be a belly band. We need to put a tall skinny tag in. And then I have this remnant that was at the Hobby Lobby. I found it. It's red. I said, be perfect for Christmas, had to pick that up. So that's going to be the inside cover. And then we got this snowman pocket, the snowman boot. And then we got this joyful pocket. And then one that's just got the green Christmas on it. And this is one of our cluster pockets that we made out of the leftover bits of what do you want to call that, ribbon. And then just some cutesy little red and green that I thought would match the colors of this journal that we have made throughout. So I said, shoot, we're gonna put this journal together. So that is going to be our pockets and tuck spots for it. And then we'll cut our pieces there to make up our tags and stuff. So we've got the inside cover. This is the outside cover, and this is going to be enough to probably do maybe 4 journals here. It's like a 2 fat quarters basically is what it is. And then this is 45 inches by 31 inches, so that's about three or 4 journals worth here. And then we're going to cover our envelopes, put them together. And then what I was wanting to do was, because this is this material here has, that white is going to be too bright for it. And then I've been making journals and such and hadn't pulled out none of my little dangles that I have made. So I pulled those out, stuck a few on that journal that I finished yesterday. But I think this would match. I think that green's going to be a little too bright, but you know what? Because it has the gold, we can put this on it, this crochet, because it has the gold gold glitter and stuff through it. And I think that's going to work. It's like our on the cover, in between the cover flaps. So that's what I'm thinking, and that's what we're going to start working on. I was just going to sit here and make up some tags and stuff in between journals, but I can do that tomorrow on my day off. Tonight is Saturday night. I was off today, so I went and did running about town doing stuff that I needed to get done. Groceries and all of this and that. So then tomorrow, I can sit at home and play with my stuff, make up what I need to get made up, and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I said I hadn't even pulled out none of my little blingies that I've made, and this is going to be the tie, because I think the reds kind of all match. So let's let me clean me a space here and just put this up here for now. We'll get this cover cut. But yeah, that's what we're doing today, y'all. Because I was sitting there and I was going through my box and I was like, shoot, there's all them pieces I knew I had to make that journal with, this quilted stuff. Because I went on Etsy and I've got a few things in my cart, but I said I'm just going to go ahead and do this right here because I can make a couple more journals. You know what I'm saying? I can make a couple more journals, and I'm just going to stick this right up here because I know I'm going to need some more of that later on down the road. So we'll just put it here. Okie doke. I said, yeah, let's just go ahead and, because this one I didn't even have put together in my stack of stuff to put together. This one was just, came about clearly because I decided to go through my, one of my big boxes to pull out some papers to make tags and stuff with. I'm just finding background pages actually to put fussy cuts on. Goodness gracious. Well, you just don't want to come off there, do you, buddy? Well, we can tire that. That's going to be just fine because it's going to be on the inside. It don't really matter. Because it did not want to let go. Normally, they ain't that hard to get off of there. Oh, I see. That's why I see that right there. But them's in there. That's why. Because normally, you know, it's just the little pieces here. It's, them suckers is in there. A little more sturdy of envelope, I see. The Dollar Tree put out. Let me get my letter opener because that's kind of hurting my finger. It's not stabber seals. Oh, me. So, the festival is in town in our area this weekend. So, anything having to do in and around Main Street for 2 blocks is shut off. The roads are. You can't get in and out. And we live on one side of town, and everything that we need is on the other side of town. So, you know, you don't have a choice but to go through that mess. So they have one light. It's the main thoroughfare through it here at Main Street, and that's where the post office is. So when you go through there, you got to sit there forever, which wasn't too bad this afternoon. But you know, you got to be cautious going through there because people just stop, you know, get in and out of their vehicles. We literally was sitting there at the light, and one lady jumped out of her car. I mean, stopped dead in the road and jumped out of her car to go stand in line at the funnel cake stand. I said, are you kidding me? This lady literally just got off her car, just stopped dead in the middle of the road, and jumped out of her car to go stand in line at the funnel cake stand. I was like, you know, the police officers just walked up and, you know, they got a hold of her and told her she needed to move her vehicle. She couldn't do that. So then, you know, but yeah, we were sitting there and I told my mom, I said, look, that woman just jumped out of her car and went over to the funnel cake stand. She's like, what? And I said, you heard what I said. Look at her. Jumped out of her vehicle to run over to the funnel cake stand. She sure enough did. Okay. Oopsie, I hit y'all. So I got y'all up in the air today. So I just need this corner right here. This is all I need. I think I can go by where the folded piece is at. So Autumn, she had to work this weekend. Yeah, she works in the souvenir shop uptown. So she said they have been, you know, just slim packed, super duper busy. And then my son and his wife came up today because it was their day off from work, and they met with Autumn at her job around 4 or so. So all of the, you know, she wouldn't be up there walking around by herself when she got to work, because she wanted to go get her something to eat uptown. So that they went and walked with her. I'm just seeing where the folds are in this so I don't recrease it to something else. So yeah, I've got enough to do 4 more journal covers out of that. I'm just going to fold that up and we'll put it back in my box and get off of here. So yeah, so she's working up there this week. And then it's my oldest daughter and her husband's anniversary yesterday on the 10th. So their 1-year anniversary. So they said they weren't probably going to go to the festival. So Autumn asked her brother and his wife when they were going to come up. She didn't want to walk up there alone. Because, you know, my back's been bothering me. And then, you know, I took the dog out this evening and he twisted my ankle trying to get out to go potty. So my ankle's a little, it didn't twist it bad, but it's hurting. Which, you know, that was my fault. Because I opened the door and didn't tell him to sit and wait, and he just took off. And then, when Autumn got home, she fed Snoop and was going to take him out. And she took him out, and she's like, well, I need to be careful and keep an eye out because that black cat was out here. And Snoop hates this black cat. When y'all hear him barking, most of the time that black cat's walking across the front yard out here. So that's why I try not to shoot videos in the daytime, because he'll start fussing. But, so she went out there when she got home from being at town to take him, to feed him and take him out to potty. And this little sucker, y'all, he took off after this daggum cat. And our walker thing for him is a nylon retractable lead. And he took off, and that thing went, it snapped, the brakes on it did. And then she tried to come up underneath, like holding it like this, and the lead comes out here, and she tried to grab the hold of the bottom. Well, her hand slipped and come up and caught where the nylon ran across her pinky and her thumb, and her hand has got a blister from here all the way across. So, well, basically, honey, you got a really bad rope burn because of that. And now we got her hand wrapped up with Neosporin on it and such. And yeah, so it's been an eventful day with the mutt dog. To the point of, you know, one more mess up, buddy, and you about to go somewhere else. So I think I am going to take these and the red pieces and alternate them and try to do like a little page decoration. I don't know. We might and we might not. That's going to be really pretty. I wonder if I could cut that just enough to get that off of there and not mess it up. Let's look, see, because then I can do, you know, yeah, well, that'll work. That'll work. It leaves me enough to fold over it. Let me flip you around this way because I can't cut crossovered. I can't cut really good with this with my left hand whatsoever. I can barely do it with my right some days. You know what I'm saying? As you can plainly see. Alright, so then we got snippet bits that we can take and make us page edgers with the red and the green. I think that'll be pretty on the middle somewhere. And then this is going to be like in between the cover pieces. And then we'll have these page edgers in the middle of it. That green, I think, is a little too bright of a green for this. That's why I was wanting to use it. And I said, well, that green ain't matching. That green's a little too bright of green. So, yeah, so we had we got the Neosporin and put it on. We got gauze on her hand. And then I took it's a compression wrap. But I didn't use it for the purposes of compression. I just used it because it will stick to itself. And you can loosely wrap it around the gauze so it still breathes, but it holds it on her hand. You know what I'm saying? And I told her, I said, you know, and she's like, well, that's a compression wrap. I was like, yes, but it will stick to itself. So it's one of those Ace bandage looking things that, and it'll stick to itself. So it'll hold the gauze onto your hand and allow it to breathe. Just because, you know, right at that point in time, it was burning like the dickens, and she didn't need to put anything else on it to make it burn, you know what I'm saying? So the Neosporin is the best way to go, and basically she's pretty much got a 1st degree burn across her hand, right, like here, and here's real bad. So bless her little heart. And she was crying, and my baby don't cry, you know, and you know good and well, mamas. Now, I don't know how crazy everybody else is, but in my family, when anything makes your baby cry, you want to hurt it. She's like, but it's not his fault. And she's like, don't whoop him. And I was like, I'm whooping him because he's up on my, he jumped up on my deep freezer after a bag, like a nut. Once we got him back in the house. So I was like, She's like, well, it wasn't his fault. I said, I'm not whooping him for that. I'm whooping him because he's been told and told not to jump up here on this deep freezer. And then we got a new bag. You know, of course, he's got to sniff that out. That's what he was jumping up there for. From the grocery store place today, just to put bread and stuff in. It's a smaller little bag that perfect for loaves of bread and chips and such. And I was like, that'll work. That'll be our bread basket. But anyhow, that's besides the point. But that's what he was after. So I popped his butt, you know. And then she's still standing there, you know. She's standing there squalling because, I mean, it hurt. I know it did. Because he took off from her and ran straight to the corner of the house. And he comes around this way. And then I see the cat taking off. And I was like, oh, because when she hollered mama, I said, oh, no. I thought he was loose from her. And then so I ran out and grabbed him, got him stopped, grabbed his collar. And she's like, I got him. I was like, no, you need to walk to me. You need to get your hand out of that lead and walk to me. I've got him by the collar. So I got him up by the nape of the neck by his collar, you know. And she walked over there, and she was like, oh, Mama, it burns so bad. And I was like, well, let's get in the house and take a look at you. Just get in the house. Because I was expecting it, you know, I mean, I really thought maybe it had cut her finger. I was expecting that. Because he ran for a ways, and he's a big boy. He's a big dog. And so I was like, well, let's just get inside and get in the light so we can look at it and see what's going on. Because, you know, I was trying my best not to scare her because I was scared. I thought it'd cut her finger off. I mean, honestly, that's what I thought happened. Because that will happen. Oh, that's going to be so pretty. There's our cover. There's the front. And we're going to put the gold corner pieces on it. But anyways, so the baby is fine. My baby's fine. She's, you know, she's my baby. And it just really, it scared me. But I was trying not to be scared, you know, because she was already upset and crying because it was burning so bad. Because, you know, that nylon lead, when it takes off, boy, it burns like fire. So, but we got her fixed up, and she let her boss know because, you know, she has to work tomorrow because tomorrow's the last day of the festival. And she's been gone. She's been gone all day, pretty much. She worked this morning. Then met her brother and his wife, you know, and they went off uptown and got them something to eat, and then she come home and got hurt, and I just felt so bad. And then I told her, I was like, yeah, he went outside this afternoon when we got back from getting groceries. I let him go pee, and he just darted, out the door and I don't give him no leash. I mean, it's like the little clip. It's on his neck, and that's it. Because I know if he gets a step on me, he's dragging me across the yard. Okay, so let's see here. This is kind of thin. Yeah, this is kind of thin, so we need to be cautious with the fabric tack on that. Alrighty, so we are just going to let me get this here, because I remember I need to have a little bit of excess here that I can cut off to go with that other piece. Okay. But yeah, so, and then I was telling my mama, I said, you know what, I would really think that we need to, because my neighbor over here across the way has got this huge house. It's she runs a bed and breakfast in it. And I was wanting to see about if, possibly renting it and seeing if we couldn't have possibly a retreat in it one year when the festival is in town, because I said that would just be so awesome, to have the festival uptown, and then we're having a retreat here because it's right across the house, and then see about if we couldn't, do a day out excursion to go to, because the fabric shops, there's 2 fabric shops uptown. There's a huge antique mall, and well, actually there are several antique malls there on Main Street, and then the souvenir shop has a little antique thrifty place in the bottom of it. I mean, it just, you could spend a day just in the antique mall uptown here. I swear you could. But I thought that would be neat. It's something that I'm thinking about once, I get a little bit more prominent of a channel, I'm saying, in the future, to try to do something like that. I think that would be a good idea. And Mama was like, yeah, I think that would be nice. She said people love to come up here and go to this festival. I said, yeah, I think they would. I think it'd be a nice little experience for them to come do that and have a crafting retreat and come, be like a Wednesday through a Sunday type thing, because Wednesday we'd be doing our crafty stuff, and Thursday we'll be doing crafty stuff, and they set up Thursday night, and then after that, it's Friday, Saturday, full days, and then Sunday, and from 9 in the morning till 5 or 6 Sunday evening. And I was like, I think that would just be cool. And, there is no time limit on that. It's just nothing set in stone. I'm just pitching out ideas of what I thought I could be able to do in the future. But then the problem is, like I say, coming to this thing, there is literally no hotel rooms from Winston all the way up, I think, until Whitfield, Virginia, within 150 miles of us when this thing is in. So it would have to be, something that's thought out. And these rooms are booked years, and I mean years with an S, in advance for this, because it happens the same weekend every October around the 10th through the 13th. So, and it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which, everybody shows up that Monday, just, get in town, get the rooms and everything, get all the products here. So, I mean, and then 2 or 3 days afterwards, the rooms are booked, because Yeah, it is humongous. And I'm pretty sure if you're on the East Coast that you've heard of the Autumn Leaves Festival in Mayberry. Because we had people from Florida waiting in line at the light when that lady jumped out of her car today. And he stuck his head out the window and goes, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yes, that's what they do here, honey." Oh, I just messed that completely up. All right, lay down, buddy. We're going to get you on there. I messed it up because I'm yapping my jaws, not paying attention. And I got Fabri-Tac all over my finger. Okay. All right, so I need to pay attention to where these corners are. That's what I was trying to do, was get the corners, and I messed it completely up. But I think this is going to be a pretty little journal. So now, and I have that green, where's it at? It's in here. Let me get my fabric box here. It's on the other side. Of course it is. On the side I got everything laid on. Here it is. I have this that will go across that as a pocket. Yes, it will. And that is the right color green. Yes, it is. Shut up. Love it when a plan comes together. So yeah, this is going to go across here as the pocket to this. Because, you know, for one, it's got the bend right there. And then, yeah, we can put that on right there. Oh, yes. Shut up. All right, so we're doing that and this. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, this is going to be too pretty. All right, flip you over. I know it's a flippy flappy thing right now, but we're going to get it together, I promise. Oh, come on. So me and Mama went to do the grocery shopping, as I was saying to start with, before, you know, I was talking about the baby getting hurt. And then, so we went and did that, come home, put the groceries up, and Aldi's has, it's like a Bear Creek, I want to say, and a brand of like a freeze-dried soups type situations and chilies and that. And y'all, if y'all have ever ate the homemade chicken noodle soup and broccoli and cheese soup from Panera Bread, you need to get these. Go to the Aldi's and get them, because it is exactly like it. And then you can go over and get you some crescent rolls for your broccoli and cheese soup, which is what I did today. But anyhow, we come home and we fixed us one of the 3 bean chilies that has rice and, you know, the freeze-dried vegetables and that in it. And it was quite good. It had celery, green onions, and onions in it. And it was actually pretty daggum good. So I got us a Mexican blend cheese to go in it. And a box of crackers. So that's what we ate for supper. And then So what was so funny was, you know, the kids, they they went to town, you know, was going to walk around. They went to get bloomin' onion and funnel cake. And that was their whole purpose of going uptown. And usually that is the whole purpose, you know, that we go uptown too, is, you know, just to get we'll walk up and down the whole street, look at stuff. Now, which my son, you know, he does his Whatnot channel and YouTube and stuff like that for his comic books, and he helps a lady at the antique mall and then a souvenir mall type place. It's a smaller antique shop, and set up her husband passed, and he has like a whole garage building and an outbuilding completely full of comic books. And then my son, he said, you know, he ran into the lady the one day up there while she had come in to, you know, just to restock the comic book section. And he asked the lady how come she was selling her comics so much cheaper. You know, and he was pulling up and showing her online, you know, what they were worth, and, you know, this and that and other. And so then the lady said that the person that was helping her was basically not being straight up front with her on the pricing. Anything that was of good value he would take, and the rest of it, he's like, you know, you can make a few dollars on it, but, you know, it wasn't of great value. And she said, I know my husband collected all of these comic books, you know, because he loved comics. But she's like, I'm not, you know, so naive that I don't know that they are of value. So my son was there talking with the lady, you know, the one day and what have you. And then couple of times them talking. And so the hearts go either way, don't they? That's fine. But I want this piece on the bottom here. So come to find out, the lady offered my son first picks of anything if, you know, if he wanted to buy it or sell it on his Whatnots and YouTube channels. And he would help price her books, go through them and price them for her, so she would, you know, make more than just $1 here and $1 there, you know, after her rental of the booth or what have you. So my son's been helping that lady do that for a couple of years. And then, you know, like anything that he sells online, you know, he shows her, you know, what he got for it and this and that. And basically they are kind of in business somewhat together. And if it's something that he is interested in for himself, you know, she gives it, he'll pull it up and show her what it's worth, you know, what they're selling it for on eBay or whatever else it is, you know, where you can get the comics and all of this and that. And then she'll tell him, you know, well, give me this for it. She said that way if you ever, you know, need money or want to resell something, you have room to breathe and, you know, room to make a profit. So, and Jaden's like, you know, I said, Jaden, well, don't you gyp this lady. He's like, Mama, you know I wouldn't do that. And I was like, I know, but I'm just saying, just, you know, stay up front with her and be honest with her about, you know, what it costs you to, because they have to have what he calls, it's a book plate, basically, and it's a cardboard keep the books from bending and this and that and other and all this and that when they ship them. So he does all of that stuff out of his apartment. And then a few times he's run into a few books, and he told the lady he really wanted them because, you know, it would go with part of his personal collection that he was doing, and she gave them to him. And then when they had their wedding, they came to the wedding, the lady that owns the shop and the lady that has the comic books. Both of those ladies came to Jaden and Kaylin's wedding and came over to me and said hey to me, because, you know, I've gone in their shops quite a few times uptown buying old books and stuff like that. And she's kept me old dictionaries and things like that, because, you know, I like the old dictionaries. That way I don't have to worry too much about words being on the page that shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do that there. Put that on the cover. Oh, just get in there. Go ahead and do that now. Then we'll put that piece of lace on here. And then I'm going to see about where I am at in the hour of shooting the video today. So if you saw how I done that, I just glued right in the middle where I could still open the flap up in between the envelopes here, because I knew I was going to add this lacy trim bit in here. And pull it out a little bit here. And this is crocheted lace with the gold on it, and we need to pull it out a little bit and get it evened up there. There we go. Alright, let's flip it over and look at the front of it. Oh yeah, that's going to be pretty. That is going to be pretty. And then the only thing is the corner pieces. I don't think we'll need them now because we have that on there. Yeah, so let me flip this back over and glue this down. Oh, that is such a mess. Oh, look at old Fabri-Tac. The love-hate relationship with you, buddy. I love you because you work and snatch and catch so good, but I hate you because you string out like a spider web. Okay, and I'm just making sure that that is on there really, really good. These here pieces are rolled up. Okay. Take this and tuck that in there, and that'll be just fine. Alright, so that's going to be the back cover, because I remember I need to keep this folded piece on the bottom. So I can put my lace on it as the pocket. Alright, let's flip you over and do this side. So then what I'll do is I'll just go to the top and the bottom of it and glue that together once I get these pieces here on. And close that up. Make sure that that is about the same on both sides. Yep, we're good. And what I'm doing is the the ends that are sticking out. I am making sure that it is glued up in there. The little corner pieces. Okay, so now we'll go back and we'll glue the top on. Try to remember not to go over. About dead right there. Alright, we'll clean that up. Leave it laying flat there for a minute. So we'll work on this corner here. I think this is going to be plumb cute. I was like, I got to make a journal cover out of that. And then I was like, oh, it is plenty big enough. And then I opened it on up and I was like, oh, heck yeah, I can make 2 or 3, maybe even 4 out of this. And I was like, yep. And then just so happened, I went by the Hobby Lobby and they had that piece of red fabric. And I said, shut up, that's going to work. I was like, yes, it all just comes together, does it not? Okay, so now I'm just going to go through the edge here and just go and glue the edges at the top and the bottom of it. And I just ran off of it there. Flip that over real quick. Smooth that over. So then our cover will be completed today. Now you can take and you can sew this, but like I say, my sewing machine is kind of small and I am so afraid that if I try to sew 2 of these together, that it is going to break my needle. You know, so, and that's why I over heavy glue with the Fabri-Tac. Because I know my sewing machine and my sewing abilities actually is just a problem. I mean, you know, I'm sure my sewing machine be just fine doing it, but just me and my sewing non-abilities, you know what I mean? I'm just getting that off of there. Alright, so now let's make sure we don't have any Fabri-Tac on this. Okay, get my fingers cleaned up here. Not too bad. But I just wanted to show, because I don't think I have put fabric in between them, or the lace in between them like that before. I always tell you, you can do it. I know I've made them where you can put the ties in between them. And then I'll do like a X on the ribbon, just for an extra hold. Okay, so now, yes, I'm gonna do this here. So that's where the crease is. Yeah, this is going to be super duper pretty. And I'm going to put it up just a wee bit right there. So you can see along the bottom of it. And try my best not to cut the fabric that's on my cover. Oops. The very first little piece that I didn't cut. Fruitcake. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. And I'll just trim that off once I get it glued down. I'm going to start over here on this side. Said it was. Then my glue said, think about it again, honey bunny. Just go right to the edge of it. And put your lace down. Get a little spatula. Get the spatula for that. Ooh. I've tried to grab that 3 different times. I bet you I just got Fabri-Tac on it. Alright, so now I'm going to turn it this ways so I can drive it straight. Because I know I need to cut this end a little bit. Okay. Get that bubble off of you. Well, that is on there. I tell you what, boy, this stuff is just a bubbling out here. Alright, so then I'm just going to go straight at the edge here. Take my scissors here and try my best not to cut nothing but just that little rolled up flap right there. Gotta hold my mouth right. Alrighty, y'all, I think we did it. Cover is done. Other than adding our tie to it. Alright, so let's put up all these bits. Wipe my hands up good. Because that Fabri-Tac will show really bad on that red fabric there. Okay, how long have we been on here for? Oh, we got some time. We got us some time. All right, and I just put it on the edge and the bottom. So now you won't have to worry about putting any in the middle because, you know, your signature will make your pocket for you there. So I am going to do our closure pieces. Do those, and of course I've got something sitting on that box. I've rearranged everything. We're going to go with gold because that is main colors of what our stuff is on the inside. I think it'll go with that brown. Okay. Pin it. I was just looking, it should be 4.5 on each side, but it's 4 7/16, just a smidget under, so not exactly 9 inches, are you, Mr. Envelope? Put these back a little bit. Put them back in here. Of course, that's still going to be on that dark green, so I'm going to color it pretty dark there so I can see it. Flip this over here, do it again. Yeah, 4 7/8, or 7/16, I should say. And put it back about 1/4 inch. It's going to be right there on that little heart. Okay. So then that way I know that it's going to go through all the things and not get caught up on that fabric there. And that is well above where our pocket is here too. Yay, good job. Oh, that's so pretty. This is awesome. This is so pretty. And that was about at my width, my length that I could get to too there. All right, well, let's snip that. Because it did go through, my little trimmer. Oh yes, very good, very good, very good. Awesome. Yeah, I was not planning on doing this because, you know, this is not one of the, I talked about the fabric, you know, that I found, but it was not one of the, apparently I've got both of the ends where it had the little bottom flaps on it on this side because it was a little harder to go through. If that's why you heard the little spring part. But yeah, I definitely was not planning on doing a journal start today, but here we are, you know, when the mood hits you. Now, honestly, I was really just feeling almost mojo lostness for Christmas because, you know, I've been fussy cutting Christmas. I've been, you know, whatever. It's like Christmas, 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 and it wasn't even Christmas. It was fall, and I was doing all of this, and I was like, I'm over Christmas already, you know. Oh, yes, that is so lovely. Okay, so now let's fold this sucker. And meet my ends up I ain't worrying about meeting the lace trim part. I'm just meeting the ends of the envelope. Alrighty. I always like to go through it with this here. Try to smooth out any places that might try to buckle on the inside, because that'll hinder trying to get our paper sewn in, trying to get our signature in there. That meets up and those corners meets up. Great, awesome. Oh yeah, see, no crease, very good. And it did crease that there a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, so there's our cover. So now when we sew our signature in, that will, you know, sew our lace here in the middle and out of our pocket, which will create our front and back pockets. And no, I don't have a kit for this either. So you know what I was going to do is I'm going to take and I did run extra copies of my Christmas background off, so I'm going to do that as my pages. I think that will work just fine. And my mama's like, well, why don't you use those scrapbooking papers as your pages? And I was like, well, because I don't want my pages and my tags, you know, just being repetitive, you know, because then you have the pieces that I planned on using as tags as the pages, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, sometimes I do that just because it's cutesy and I like it, but I can't get that through there. There we go. Just get my painters to work. That's all I had to do. And I know that's going to, you know, scrunch that up, but I'm fine with that. I love it. And I know I'm overdoing these closures like this, but guess what? That is the best and easiest thing that you can do to have a good, strong closure to where you can add as much as you would like to it. Yep, so there it is. And all of that red matches pretty daggum good. I am super happy with that. Super happy with that. Alright, so where are my pages that I just ran off? Alright, so I got a few of these here that I thought would kind of maybe, I don't know. No, I used one of those. I got red and green pages. Let's see. Is that green going to be alright with it? I think so. Why not? And that's all the red and green pages I got because I saved them in case I wanted to do this journal. And it was an afterthought, you know, because I was like, I wanted to buy a few things on Etsy, but I was like, what for? You have all of this stuff here. Okie dokie. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I think that is going to be fun. Alright, so I'm going to put that up here. And guess what? I have the music. Yes, the music. Let's add a couple of them in there. Just for, you know, good measure. Why not? Okay, I have the holly pages. I don't want to put any holly pages in here. Look, I have a bunch of these. Right there they are. I done got a bunch of them. Ran off. You knucklehead. I'm a Fruit Loop if there ever was one. Look, right there they are. You already got a bunch of them ran off crazy. And that is not the one. Yeah, that's pages for the journals. Knuckle noggin. Yes, I am that person that's knuckle-headed, forgets what I do. Yep. And then I didn't know if you all knew that My Porch Prints, they have a Christmas music, vintage Christmas music paper pack. That's not where that came from. That was a freebie from somebody. I can't remember. Then they have the Christmas collage scrap papers. It's super duper pretty. Look. And this would be a pretty journal in and of itself with these pages. Yes, ma'am, it sure would. So I ran 2 copies of those off, and then a copy where I can make stuff with it that's not front and back copies. And then we have the classic Christmas scrap pack from My Porch Prints. And these are quite pretty too. These are front and back. I'm wondering if I'm wanting, well, because there ain't no birds in there. Oh, goodness. Just hush it up. I was thinking maybe I could pull one of the pages out of those and make me a center page. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the pink Christmas scrap pack by My Porch Prints as well. It's quite pretty. All right. So that is all of that. I'm going to go bust him in the mouth. And then have him attack me, you know. No, he won't attack me. He's too good of a dog for that. He's been following all of them around ever since she got hurt. Trying to lick her hand and give her sugars and, you know, all this and that. I bet you that cat's on the front porch. All right, I'm going to get off of here for today. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll get our signature put together and sewed in and all of that. But these are the pages that I've pulled out to make the signature with for right now. And I'm going to put it here in the pouch. And that's what we're going to work with. Now these bits here I need to gather up because I wanted to do something with that too. And I probably knocked some of that on the floor there. So we'll just put that in there. And that is going to go with that. This is the tucks and pockets. And here's all of our stuff that we can make the tags and stuff with. I'm thinking about cutting these apart and putting them in the front and back signatures, because this kind of says poinsettia to me, so I was going to put that in the quilted gloves in there, I think. And then we have this page here where it has a few things that I thought we could use, tags and such. And there's the blue quilted stuff, and that's fine. Green, there's that. That's kind of the front. And then here's some more quilted-y type situations. And this is just a pretty little snowy scene. And then here's another one. And so I'm thinking we'll take this and this, maybe, or that and that, because we can use this in something else. I don't know. And then this is hurtful to the eyes to look at, and probably even on camera. But it's like a poinsettia. So I was like, well, I don't really have a middle page that I could use from that, do I? That's why I was kind of looking through it. I really don't have a middle page that I can use. Well, shucks, y'all. Well, we could use that as a middle page. I don't know. I'd probably pick one of them my Porch Prints papers out to be the middle page. So I don't really have a quilted page. That's what's irritating me. But that's okay. We will see y'all tomorrow and we'll figure it out. Y'all have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. And have a good day.